Hello and welcome to the Starting Five. I'm Philip Robarge, joined alongside Jackson Stafford, Kaden Trenoweth, and Calvin White. Today, 5 big picks and 5 bold takes. Today's show, top 5 unexpected Stanley Cup final runs. Should be a good one for you. We'll start with number 5, Nashville Predators 2017. The Predators were an 8th seed and had their deepest run in their history, upsetting the number 1 Chicago Blackhawks in the first round with a sweep. And they fought hard, too, in that final to take Pittsburgh to 6 games. An unexpected Stanley Cup final run that ended just short for them. Number 4, President-winning Vancouver Canucks of 2011. Game 7, overtime goal against the Chicago Blackhawks, again, defending champions, I might add, and they would go on to win 3 of the next 5 cups. Certainly a surprise. Second round, the Predators won in 6 games, decided by a single goal, not counting one empty net goal. And then they won in 5, and then lost to the Bruins in 7 games. Just an unexpected run that came up just short again. Edmonton Oilers at number 3, 2006. Another 8th seed, the Oilers defied hockey experts who voted almost unanimously in favor of the Red Wings. That series went back and forth, and ultimately, in double overtime, Oilers won in 6. And they took Carolina to 7 games in the final, being down 3-1 in that series. Now, number 2. The Montreal Canadiens 2021. Relatively recently, the Habs qualified for the playoffs, 59 points, a league's lowest, after beating the top Central Division Hurricanes in the regular season, then down 3-1 in the series to Cup favorites Toronto in the first round. They would rally back to win Game 7, and just, again, Toronto blowing it again. And then the semifinals, they shocked the heavily favored Golden Knights, who had just previously, the last 2 seasons, made it to the Stanley Cup final. And then they took the defending champion Lightning to 5 games. This was, don't forget, the start of the Lightning's dominance. And now, number 1. It should be no surprise to anyone that the Philadelphia Flyers of 2010 topped this list in what has to be the craziest lead-up to an NHL playoff berth. The 7th seed Flyers became the 7th seed after a tiebreaker win in Montreal in the regular season against the Canadiens. The Flyers would be the last team to qualify following a shootout win against the Rangers, and then upsetting the 2nd-seeded Devils team in 5 games. Second round, Boston went down 3-0 in the series, came back, forced a Game 7, won a Game 7. And then they would rally from a 3-goal deficit in that Game 7. They faced the beginning of a Blackhawks dynasty in the final and took them to 6 games, losing 4-3 in OT. That is my list, and now I open up to the panel. Guys, can you get any better than this?
So just to be clear, because you didn't say it, but I believe these are all just the losers, right?
These are all
they
just
didn't win
the losers.
The cup.
They didn't win the cup. No 2012 LA Kings.
Okay.
No, exactly.
You want to go first?
I mean, I agree with your number 5, the Predators. I mean, they're the lowest seed in the West. They, I believe, were the lowest seed overall in the NHL to actually make the playoffs that year. They were 16th. And sweeping the number 1 seeded Blackhawks, that was definitely surprising. But you kind of lost me with the Vancouver Canucks, your number 4. When we're talking about surprising playoff runs, putting the President's Cup winners there doesn't really make a lot of sense to me.
Were they favorites in any?
They won the
series?
President's Cup. The President's Cup winner is automatically going to be favored to go to the finals.
That's not true at all. Only 39.
I mean,
They're the best. If you win the President's Cup, you're the best team in the
39.
You score the most points.
Hold on. 39 of the people won the President's Cup. Only 8 actually made the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah,
That's not good odds, Kaden.
It's the curse.
Don't go to the bank with those odds.
If you win the President's Cup, you are going to be favored in your round 1
you're
matchup
not.
because you're going to get the 8th seed. You get the 8th seed.
The Lightning got the 8th seed and got swept.
Okay, yes, the rare occurrence. We see it all the time. It happens.
How's it a
That's
rare?
sport. What are you
Telling
mean?
you. No. Go ahead.
So,
finish.
okay, if you're saying it's not a rare occurrence, how are they there?
Only 8 teams of the 39 had ever even made a Stanley Cup final, Caden.
So you're
Those
saying
are-
just because they won the cup, that now qualifies
No,
them to
but
be
it's also the
surprising
way that they
make
won
a
it
playoff
when they played the Blackhawks. Okay, the Blackhawks had their number the past 2 seasons, 2009, 2010. They beat them, and they go out and they were up 3-1 in that series, 3-0 in that series. The Blackhawks came back and tied it. Everyone's thinking the Blackhawks are going to win, and they win it in overtime.
So the Toronto Maple Leafs not be favorites, or
When are the Toronto Maple Leafs ever favorites in the playoffs, Caden? Come on.
no? That's what I'm trying to say. Should they not be favorites, right? So if they have the most wins and they go all the way, if they win the President's Cup, they go all the way, and they didn't lose round 1, so now what? Now they're one of the most surprising runs of all time.
I would say so.
Really? One of the best regular season teams.
If a
Plays well in the playoffs,
Yes, but
and that's
how often
surprising.
do we
How
see-
is that surprising to you?
Because look at Toronto. Toronto's a prime example. Look at Washington. They're a prime example. Washington are always good in the regular season, and then they get killed by the Penguins every time. There's no coincidence that this team should be on this list. Okay? They win in Caden. They talk about the final against the Bruins. Do you think they were favored against the Bruins in that final?
Honestly,
yeah,
Yeah.
actually.
How? The Bruins are bigger. The Bruins are stronger.
Yeah,
The Bruins
I
had
can
the
imagine
Bruins
it,
had the
but, like-
veterans. The Bruins had the Vezina winning goalie in Tim Thomas that year, versus the Canucks, who had Roberto Luongo and Corey Schneider. Roberto Luongo was subbed off time and time again in that Toronto series.
Yeah,
He was
but
taken
wasn't-
out. He wasn't
in the final.
performing.
He wasn't in the final.
He was in the final. He was taken out game 3.
Yeah, game 3 when they scored 6 on him.
Does that look like a favorite?
Yeah, actually,
7-1
I
as a-
believe they were favorited.
they were favorited, and honestly, I am more
but they-
shocked
no,
that
there's
they
no way they were
collapsed
fa-
in the
you can't
finals
t-
the way they did than made it to the finals.
Jackson?
I've been quiet. I'm not a big hockey guy, but I agree with a lot of your list. A lot of like low seeds that snuck in, made it all the way to Stanley Cup. But like Caden and Calvin, your number 4 I think is kind of ridiculous. You get a President's Cup winner, top team in the league. I don't think it's like too surprising that they make the Stanley Cup, honestly.
That's what they're supposed to do.
Right. Like, if a top team in the regular season does well in the postseason, that's like expected. It's not unexpected.
I think it is unexpected because, again, you look at just how bad the 2 Sedin brothers played really well all of that regular season. Into the playoffs, they're injured. You're not expected to do well if your top 2 players are injured. You've got a goalie that's got issues even playing in the game. He can't keep the puck out of the net to save his life.
But is it unexpected because
It is
they're the top
unexpected. How is that
seed?
not expected?
Because they're
you
the
get
top
Tor-
seed.
You get Chicago, a team that is on fire, a team that is about to win 3 of the next 5 Stanley Cups. You get a team that's built for it to be a playoff team, and you have them on the ropes and you can't finish them off, and then you end up getting, again, you just barely win it in Game 7, and then you go on to play St. Louis, and then you win it in 5. I'm telling you, St. Louis, another team built for the playoffs, not built for a regular season team. That was certainly a shock to me.
I guess we just have different definitions of what's a shocking playoff run.
What do we
because
think? What do we think about the rest of this list? Who
I
would
mean-
you guys want to add to this
2016
list?
San Jose Sharks,
Okay. Why is that?
because they were the 6th seed going in, and then they just were on fire that entire run. I think they built most of their current fan base just from that playoff run alone. That 2016 team with Erik Karlsson, Brent Burns, Joe Pavelski was their top center and their leading point
Martin
scorer.
Jones.
Yeah, and what they did in 2016 was so unexpected. They were the 6th seed coming out of that. I believe it was a loaded Western Conference. I can't remember the exact teams they played off the top of my head.
Well, I
right
mean, you
now,
had,
but-
again, we've mentioned already Chicago in that, but you also had the Kings as well
Yeah.
in that.
I believe they
You
did
had the
take
Ducks
down
that
the.
were really good.
I believe they did take down the Kings in that playoff run.
Yep.
Another one that kind of is in the same realm. I'd like to get everyone's opinion on this, as the Vancouver Canucks, is actually the first year of the Golden Knights. They did come out the gates flying in their inaugural season and made it all the way, but if you're going start of the year to playoff run, that is by far one of the best stories in current modern day hockey.
Yeah, I'd say that was one of the most unexpected things I've ever seen watching hockey.
Well, but it can't be that unexpected if you've got you've got NHL ready level players. It was unexpected because they're a new team.
Yeah,
But
and have
you're
we ever seen
pooling-
an expansion team do as well as they have?
No, because you're not pooling from the great NHL players that you have, the protected and unprotected teams. I mean, you've got guys that are NHL ready that are already cracked the rosters of the NHL teams now coming to your team. Of course, they're going to do well. Of course, they're not going to be bottom of their division. Of course, they're going to actually compete.
But we've seen that before, that like the teams who don't protect players, those are the players that they don't believe are good enough for their
They
team.
don't believe they're
usually.
good enough, but they don't know what they're talking about, obviously, because look at what Vegas
Yes,
did.
it happened this one time, but can you name another time where a team made of literally
Well,
the
when
team?
Houston gets a team, I'll let you know.
Okay, we'll see.
We'll have to see. Any closing thoughts?
I mean, I agree with a lot of the rest of your list. I think the Flyers in 2010 obviously are the most unexpected run. I mean, they barely made it to the playoffs. When they made it to the playoffs, all of their wins were either like right to the wire or comeback wins, and that's unexpected, especially for a team of their caliber. Montreal Canadiens 2021, it's definitely a little bit unexpected, but I mean, all of that season was pretty unexpected to me. I mean,
Yeah.
there wasn't really anybody that you were predicting to win before them.
They had a negative 9-goal differential and 11 overtime losses that season as well. And Jackson?
Like I said, I think Vancouver has to be off the list.
All right.
The whole President's Cup thing, I don't even watch hockey, but I know that's like given out to the top team. And I think, like Calvin and Kaden said, putting that first-year Vegas Knights team would be a good addition because, you know, it's an expansion team. First year, you don't expect them to make it all the way to the Cup. And they made it.
You're only dealing with NHL-ready players. But that is my list. Obviously, they don't agree, but that's okay because they can be wrong every now and again. And thank you so much for watching Starting Five. I'm Philip Robarge, Jackson Stafford, Kaden Trenoweth, and Calvin White. We will see you in the next one.